just came into the marsh. The lake's still been pretty dirty, but had beautiful sunshine today. Figured we'd come in the marsh in case we did a little sight fishing. But before we do that, pop a little corks in the ditches, see what the specks are doing. Nice speck. So look what I'm doing here. So we're coming down this creek, catching trout. So I'm gonna turn that boat because the current's going that way. I don't want the boat to blow up into where I just caught that fish. Had a little nice turn right there in the bayou. And that's where that fish was. Maybe there's a little school of them. Let's get him off. Throw it right back in there. There he is, right at the boat. Good fish too. He's a nice trout for the marsh. And that's what happens as you get into the latter part of the year. The colder it gets, the bigger those trout get up in the marsh. We're using the lemon head, some tiger bait, some more of those vibrant, bright colors. And that's why we're not in the lake today. I'd really like to be in the lake. This is the time of the year where we catch those big trout in the lake. But ever since Hurricane Ida, that lake it's not getting right. I mean, it'll probably get good here any day now, but it's just been staying dirty. Some of these ditches and bayous are a little dirty. That's why we're using those vibrant colors. And look how long this leader is from the lure itself. And that's what we're looking for right now, is these real tight, narrow ditches that have good depth, like that 7-8 foot of water. And I'm using a longer leader. That way it's getting down in the water column a little bit better in those deeper little ditches. Having a good start to the morning. Nice fish. Nice fish. I tell you, this is just a lot of fun. Nobody around to bother you. Watching that cork go under. Using the matrix shad. Just having a great little morning. Not a boat in sight. Just want to give it little pops. Make that sound. Make it sound like something skipping across the water. Like a shrimp. This has been one of the stranger falls I've ever really had. You know, as we get into that November, December time, I very rarely am not in the lake on a pretty day like this. But there's just a lot more fish up in the marsh as those bigger trout aren't you know, there's a handful in the lake, as you've seen in some of the previous episodes, but it's just not really easy right now. And I'd rather come back in here, have the whole estuary to myself. Catch a few fish. All right, the plan was to go sight fishing this particular morning, and as you can see, we stopped short, stopped early, and we're fishing the ditches with corks, catching plenty of trout. Now, what you want to look for when you're doing this is tight, skinny ditches that connect duck ponds. That's where the trout like to hang out. And then once the sun gets up good, you got your ponds right there by you. And that's what we ended up doing at the end of the day after we made this video, is we went up in them duck ponds. The water was pretty nice, and those reds were just floating everywhere. Seeing really, really nice schools of fish. The reds, it was just a beautiful, beautiful day. Nice to catch a trout first, and then to have those redfish right there as a secondary option is just incredible, and that's what makes Louisiana so fantastic. You can fish a little ditch and catch all the trout you want, and then just slide into the skinny duck pond, and they got reds swimming around, and you can just visually see them all over the place. Switch to the tiger bait. That one's close. Let me check that one real quick. He actually made it. He's a little skinny, so he looked pretty small, but long and skinny. But I switched to the tiger bait there. Same principle as the lemonhead. We just want something kind of bright, get these fish's attention. I don't really think it matters all that much what color you have. Just have something relatively bright. Tiger bait's one of my favorite dirty water baits that we have. That purple and chartreuse really does a good job contrasting colors in that dirty stained water. Little rascal. This one, that one's got to be short. Got to be a little short. We're coming towards the end of this little ditch here. This is the fourth one we fished. All similar results. Great little morning. Gonna come out to the end of this ditch, and we're gonna go ahead and finish up this little video here. See if we can get one or two more in this ditch. But for all you Lake Pontchartrain lovers, if it just doesn't happen this year, tie you on a cork, tie you on a matrix, find you a deep ditch right here off the Wrigley's, and have some fun. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode of DockSide TV. Catching nice trout in the marsh, under corks, using products from MatrixShad.com. We were using the Matrix Shad Lemonhead and also the Tiger Bait. Make sure to subscribe to the Matrix Bait Box if you want to get your hands on some of those items, as we'll be putting them out in this month's box. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, as we have plenty of videos popping corks in the marshes off the Wrigley's and the intercoastal area. And if you want to check out some of our DockSide TVs on fishing the bridges, which is what we really want to be doing right now, but it just hasn't been that good yet this fall and winter, make sure to check out those episodes too, as that will probably start happening any day now. But in the meantime, get your corks out, get your matrix shads out, come out to the marsh, pop them, watch them go under, watch these speckle bellies flip into the boat and have some fun. Till next time, good fishing.